So we're trying to focus now on how ratios and fractions work together. Last time we took this cake and we split it. So as we split it into three pieces, and then we gave one of those pieces to Fred and two of those pieces to Amy. And so in terms of ratios, we could say she has it's one piece to two piece, so 1 to 2. That's the ratio of Fred to Amy's. If we asked what, maybe we can ask a couple of questions here. So what fraction of the whole cake does Fred have now? And also, we can ask three questions here. We can ask, what fraction of the whole cake does Amy have now? And we can ask, what fraction of, how can I phrase this, of Amy's share does Fred's share represent? So not the best. I can't think of a better way to phrase it than that. So if we look at the first question then, what fraction of the whole cake does Fred have now? Well, we chopped the cake into 3 bits, and he has one of those bits, so he has 1/3. And Amy had 2 of those bits, so Amy has 2/3. So we'll just look at these fractions first, and we'll notice that the 1 is like that one there, and the 2 is like this 2 here. So what's the 3? Well, the 3 that goes at the bottom, that's the amount of pieces there are in total, and so it's going to be the 1 plus the 2. So we can say 3 would be equal to, we worked it out by doing 1 plus 2. So the denominator ends up being how many pieces in total there were, and then the number at the top is just whatever part he has. So obviously in my diagram it's a bit easier to see that, but some of these are not so easy. So let's look at some examples here. Alex and Thomas share 30 sweets. They divide them in the ratio of 3 to 2. And said, how many does Thomas have? So this is totally fine. We take the 30 sweets. We see that it's been divided by 3 parts to Thomas and 3 parts to Alex and 2 parts to Thomas. So there are a total of 5 parts. And those 5 parts must be equal to the 30 sweets. And so 1 part is going to be equal to 30 divided by 5. So, and that's going to be 6 sweets. So then from then on we can say, well, therefore, we want to know how many sweets does Thomas have. Well, Thomas has 2 parts when 1 part is 6 sweets, so Thomas has 12. That must mean that the remaining sweets is Alex's. So Alex has 18 sweets. Now remember the total amount of sweets is 30. So Alex has 18 out of 30. If we simplify that, then I would probably divide them by, I guess I'd divide it by, let's start by dividing it by, let's divide it by 6, because we can divide them both by 6. So that's 5 at the bottom there, and 3 at the top there. And again, we notice that the 3 is the 3 from there. And the 5 is the 3 plus the 2. So we separated it into the 5 parts. There it is again. There's the 5. And again, we worked out that Thomas has 2 parts. And that would be 2 times 6, which is 12. And so he had 12 over 30 of all of the sweets. Again, if we can divide them both top and bottom by 6, so that gives me 2 over 5. 30 divided by 6 is 5, so I'll just divide it by 6 each time. 12 divided by 6 is 2. And again, you can see that we've got the number from Thomas's is at the top, and the number of the 2 plus the 3 added together is at the bottom. So this is pretty much what you'll have to do with fractions. I have one other question, the third question from my example that I didn't do, and this is a little bit like a trick question. You've got to think carefully about what exactly they're asking. See, in this case, they're saying, what fraction of Amy's share does Fred's share represent? Well, compared to the amount of cake Amy has, Fred has half of Amy's cake. So the answer is actually a half there. So here, you've taken the 1 and you divided it by the 2. And so this time we're actually dividing the numbers in a different way. But it all really comes down to how what have they actually asked you in the question. You've got to be careful about that. So let's work through these questions and see if they can catch us out. Okay,